After reviewing the entire proclamation of the Marianas Trench Marine National Monument, local attorney and fisherman Oliver Bordalio thinks Guam doesn't have to worry too much about fishing. The main aspect is that the national monument is made up of three components. The first part consists of the three northernmost islands in the Marianas and its ecosystems. That area will be closed off within a 50-mile radius to any sort of commercial fishing and will be heavily restricted by the federal government. The original plan called for a 200-mile radius restriction. The second component encompasses new restrictions to the entire Marianas Trench, which Bordalio explains only affects submerged lands, not fishing.
The proclamation is very clear that it applies only to the submerged lands and does not include the water column or any of the marine resources or fisheries above the Marianas Trench. Most importantly, I looked at the coordinates or the map that accompanied the proclamation, and the closest point that the Marianas Trench monument comes to our southern fishing banks is about 30 miles south of White Tuna Banks, which is our southernmost banks.
Bordalio also says the third component protects volcanic sites around the Marianas for up to a 1-mile radius, but only submerged lands, not the water above. Guam Fishermen's Co-op President Manny Duenas says although he feels the proclamation was a compromise, he's still upset about the federal meetings that took place on the Marianas Trench and other places besides Guam. He argues that what is happening with the three northernmost islands in the CNMI and the Trench is still Guam's business.
The thing is, people have always said that, oh, those three islands are none of your business. But it is our business because under federal law, we're allowed to fish in any U.S. EEZ. And the other thing that wasn't mentioned was that the Marianas Trench, that encompasses all the way from northern Marianas down to the southern side of Guam. That's an issue that we weren't even consulted with. And I'm very upset about that.
Bottom line, Bordalio and Duenas say local fishermen on Guam have nothing to worry over the blue legacy President George Bush has declared. Bordalio re-emphasizes fishing for island residents here on Guam won't be affected.
It doesn't affect the fisheries. There's no prohibition, even on commercial fishing. Instead, all of the fisheries regulation will still be done by the Western Pacific Regional Fisheries Management Council, which so far has been doing a very good job. And in fact, Chairman Connaughton mentioned in his remarks the reason they did not include the marine ecosystem around the Marianas Trench or the southern banks is because these areas are already very well regulated by Westpac.
In the end, Duenas adds President Bush should have applauded the 4,000 years of fishing standards done by island residents instead of enforce something he can't do in his own backyard.
To me, it's not an all-win situation. Nobody completely won in this situation. But I think the president and Washington has finally realized that we are indigenous people out here. We live on the ocean. We depend on the resources of the ocean. And there was a major compromise with this.